in this video I'm show you the traditional way to write a OOP in JavaScript plus a newest way. ECMAScript 6 introduced this class keyword. So using that, how to create this OOP, object-oriented programming way, how to code this object-oriented programming way. And I have one more question here. So that question is basically, so do you think the JavaScript is originally OOP object-oriented programming language? Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about OOP concept. So this is the most popular topic over the programming world. So if you take a different programming language like Java or C++, everything's are going with OOP concept. So OOP mainly include 4 pillar concepts, that is one is inheritance, second is encapsulation, third is abstractions, and fourth one is polymorphism. So basically, if you want to be a master in this, then very easy to understand the programming languages, so the codes basically. So because all the programming coming with most of the programming coming with this OOP concept. So if you know about this OOP concept, that is help you to boost your development, help you to understand very quickly, so help you to write a good code, help you to write adhere to this OOP concept. So this will help you to boost up. That's what basically I want to tell here. So that is my personal opinion. And today video we are going to discuss about this OOP principles, and plus we are going to apply this for a JavaScript. So I'm basically a JavaScript developer. So in this video I'm show you the traditional way to write a OOP in JavaScript plus a newest way. ECMAScript 6 introduced this class keyword. So using that, how to create this OOP, object-oriented programming way, how to code this object-oriented programming way. And I have one more question here. So that question is basically, so do you think the JavaScript is originally OOP object-oriented programming language? If you think yes, I'm also saying yes, but there's some things behind here. So let me tell you what it was. So basically, whatever the things you are writing, basically the JavaScript is basically a prototype based programming language. So if you are writing something in object oriented way using this new syntax, ES6 syntax, at the end of the day it is just a prototype. So prototype is basically, if you take the prototype is basically some methods inherit with another methods. So that is what the definition is. So I will show you everything in this video, then you will get a full understand of how JavaScript we need to implement a OOP way. In this video you will learn object-oriented programming plus what is this prototype mean, what is this prototype chaining means, and how to write a JavaScript code in traditional way, the OOP concept, and how to use these new keywords. Everything you are going to learn in this video. Okay, then let's go to our practical video then. For this development, for these explanations, I'm going to use the browser. You can use your browser, Chrome browser. I'm using Chrome browser. You can go to inspect or F12 to open your developer console, and go to source. In this source, let me show you this. You can see here the new snippet, right? So in this new snippet, click this new snippet, and you can see here constructor, right? So first I will teach you the tradition way. So when I learning this, I learn this in a hard way, but I'm going to simplify this and help you to give you a better understanding. So first, the way is constructor. So I'm going to construct the object basically. So if you take a JavaScript, everything's an object, right? So properties and methods are included. So that's the reason I'm saying whatever the code you are, even you are using this object oriented way to implement the code, at the end of the day these are object plus prototype and properties. That's it. So I'm going to implement this OOP, object oriented programming way, in traditional way. That is the oldest way, right? So oldest way means it's not oldest, most of the people are still using, but this is the hardest way, right? So that is how to do is you can write function, and so this is the scenario basically, right? So my scenario is there's a one campus, right? Campus is there. So in this campus there's a classroom. That classroom classroom, the teachers are teaching to the student, right? So in this case I have an object, right? Teachers or lectures plus the student, right? So these both peoples are person, right? So person category I'm going to implement. So at the moment let's go with person. So how to create an object or using this construct method is I'm going to use this person. So person, you can see this is start with a capital P. So this is a person, and this dot person have a name, right? Person have a age, right? So in this argument you need to use this name and age, correct? Now I want to say hi to everyone. So the person everyone can say hi to, hi, right? So in this case I want to implement a method. So in this method, if someone say hi, then need to print my name is the person name. That's what the purpose here, right? So in this case I'm using this person dot prototype, right? Prototype, the name is the function name is say hello. This method I'm saying say hello, so this is a function, and I'm going to return my name is, right, this dot name, right? Now I'm going to create a one instance. So I'm going to create a new person here. This person is new person 1. I'm using this new keyword. So basically why we using this new keyword is we are going to get a reference. So basically we are creating a one instance plus reference we are return and assign this to this new person one variable. That is why we are using new. So in this new person I'm going to add, you can see I need to pass name John, right? His age is 24, right? Now if I console this one, so new person 1, you can see new person 1. I console and show you what is the output here. Let me save this first, and if I run this, you can see new person 1. This is my console log string and the person object is there. This person object you can see age 24, name John. These two properties are included, but where this say hello method. So you can see here the prototype, right? If you expand this prototype, you can see this say hello. So that's why I told you before, JavaScript is prototype based programming language. So what prototype mean? Prototype is the method or the properties and method inherit from another method. So that is what the prototype mean. So basically the prototype, let's say for example, if I'm calling this new person one dot need to say hello to everyone, right? Let me console log this one because we are returning, right? Console.log. I'm saying here new person say hello. Okay, this guy going to say, the new person is going to say hello. Now you can see my name is John. Sorry, we need to change the message. Sorry. Hey, I am his name, right? So if I now enter, look, you can see here we create an instance and return a reference and assign this to new person 1, and we are checking new person what is the things I include, and we are calling to say hello to John. So once we call here, John is saying hey, I am John, so his task is done. So this is the way how to construct the object. This is a traditional way basically, right? So this is how we implement or construct the object using the traditional way, right? Second is, before going to second, I want to show one more thing here. So normally every object, basically two kind of properties or two kind of prototypes available. So if you take a one that is inbuilt prototype. So inbuilt prototype I will show in a minute, that one. And second one is programmers define prototype. Program is you are the developer, you are defining some prototypes that is defined by yourself, right? But inbuilt also available. Keep that in mind, I will show in a minute. Let's say for example I am creating a one array. Let's say I am creating a new array, right? So in this array just an empty array, right? I'm just creating an empty array and I'm calling this console.log. Let's see what is included in this array. You can see here this is an empty array, but if you expand here you can see the prototype here. So this is what the prototype. So in this array include some extra inbuilt properties and methods. You can see here right now at is there, concat is there, constructor is there, copy within there, entry, every field, filter, everything's are coming under this, but we not customly added anything. We not add any prototype to this new array, but if you expand and so see everything's are there, right? So how it work is, so let's say for example I am checking this array dot length. So if I click enter, this is returning 0. But what happen is, behind the scenes what happen is, this guy is checking is this array having any length. So you can see here the length. Oh yeah, the length is available. Then we need to show this value, right? So that's how it's implemented. So this is what happening. The first of all, this guy is checking whether this is available. As I want to display, show you one more example here for understand this properly. If I run this, you can see this person, right? So in this person object, so this person object only have this age 24 and name John, right? But here you couldn't see any kind of methods to say hello. Then if I use this new person one dot say hello, what happened is this guy is checking the prototype. So hey, do you have this say hello function? No. Then what happened is this guy is going to prototype. So this expand the prototype, you can see say hello is, oh yeah, I found this guy. Yeah, we have this say hello. So this is what we call prototype chaining. So if that method or property is not available in that particular scope, it's going to out prototype through the chain. So it's basically chain. So and check this whether it's available or not. So this is what this prototype chaining means, right? So yeah, back to topic. Now we are going to see how this inheritance we need to implement in a JavaScript, right? So at the moment I am going with the traditional way. I will come up with the latest ES6 feature later, but at the moment let's go with this traditional way. First we will learn this traditional way, after that we will learn the newest way, right? So I'm create a new snippet, inheritance. Now you are going to see the inheritance, right? For an inheritance, let's take a copy of this. Right, inheritance. Refresh. Inheritance, again we have a person. So I'm at the moment yeah, as I told you before, this scenario is catered with lecturers and student with a campus scenario, right? Just take an example like that. So now I need to create one more object constructor for lectures, because person is everything common to one person, not a one person, every persons, right? So normally person have name and age, but if you take a lectures, they need to teach, right? So they teaching some subject in the campus, right? So that's reason I need to create one more constructor for the lectures. So again same thing I'm going to do. Let's see the difference. Function once again, and this is a lecture, and this lecture they also have a name, right? This name and the age plus subject, right? So again here just name. Basically using this we are just constructing the object, right? Age is dot subject, and again the subject. Now once again I'm creating a method. So before creating a method, I want to use the same thing which same class or same constructor, person constructor, because I need to say hello. I don't need to add once again to this lecture say hello method, right? So that's the reason I am saying lecture prototype. I want object dot create. I'm taking this person dot prototype, right? So what is this object create doing is create a prototype object. So basically things are getting up you, so that say hello method is there. Using this object create, you can return you can get this person prototype. So basically the method create a new object using existing object as a prototype, right? So actually it's creating a new object using existing prototype. So as I told you before, you can see here the lecture, we have this name or age and subject, right? So lecture.prototype, I'm using this object.create person.prototype. So whatever the person prototype have, just take this object and return this prototype. So right now I have this lecture prototype have this person's prototype, and same I want to add one more prototype here. Dot I want to subject, teaching subject, it's a teaching subject, right? Function return, hey, I'm teaching this subject, right? So right now I'm creating, so for at the moment let's create a one instance for this lecture June, right? His age is 24 and computer science, right? So this is new lecture. So the new lecture, just at the moment comment this one. So now you can see the lecture, right? The name is there, age is there, the subject is there. But if you expand this one, you can see the prototype person. So in this person includes this teaching subject, right? So this person includes the teaching subject. So this is how we implement inherit the things. So basically inheritance, what inheritance is doing is extend from the parent class. So we don't need to write once again the same method. Yeah, absolutely. And here, so right now we taking so let's say I'm calling this new lecture.say hello. So is he going to be say hello? Okay, let's see that. Yeah, this is still work. Hey, I'm John, right? So how its work is, you can see the new lecture, we create instant, right, with passing John 24 and computer science. Console laptop, new lecture, you can see this is the printing out. And if you expand this prototype, you can see this teaching subject, right? Teaching subject is there, and this object having say hello as well, right? In this case, if I use this new lecture dot say hello, this guy is saying, hey, I'm John. This is what we call inheritance, right? This is what we call inheritance. And one more thing I need to show you. You can see this teaching subject we include here. The prototype, lecture prototype, we have this teaching subject. So we need to construct once again this lecture to this. Basically, we need to inherit this parent class, right? So here, this is how we inheriting. I'm going to add this prototype dot constructor this lecture, right? So if you expand here, this is a person, the lecture, teaching subject is there, right? So you can say hello. So if you want to add a constructor here, you can add here. That is not a problem, right? So this is all about the inheritance, right? So this is all about inheritance. This is, you can see here, once we call this new lecture dot say hello, and this guy is saying This is checking whether this say hello is available in this prototype. Then no, then check this another prototype object. Yeah, then I found, then call this guy. That's how this saying, hey, I am John. So now let's say we have added a new prototype call, the new method to this lecture prototype, teaching subject, right? So let's call this thing. Then I'm going to call, let me clear the developer console. I'm going to call new lecture dot teaching subject. Then this guy saying, hey, I'm teaching the computer science. For clear your confusion, let me create a one more instance with a reference to person, from the person, new person, the person object constructor, the person. Here I need to pass Smith and 25, right? If I call this new person, new person, dot, I'm going to call teaching subject. Do you think this is going to be work? Let me figure out it. This is saying teaching object is not a function. True. Let me show you that. Let me console log this one, the new person object. You can see here the new person. If you expand this prototype, you only see this say hello. You don't have this teaching subject function. So this is what the prototype is me. So I don't want to use the existing things inside my same constructor. So this is extending that person or parent class and get all the methods and attributes that are applied to this lecture as well. So this is a parent to a child. The parent class, whatever the attributes or whatever the properties, methods available, I need same things to this child class as well. So in addition to that, I can write extra methods to that particular lecture class. So this is the extend way. So we basically saying this is extending, class extending. This is what inheritance means. So this is I show this in traditional way. We'll talk about later the new way how to implement or extending with using this ES6, right? So this is inheritance. Third one is encapsulation. For this one, I'm going to use here the same thing, the functions, prototype, lectures, right? Let me remove the spaces here. Now this lecture have a salary, right? Oh, I'm going to increment the salary, right? So I'm taking example here, return. So his salaries, basic salaries, just say 10,000, right? Here I'm going to increment that with 10%, right? 10,000. I'm going to increment 10%. Right. So I'm going to increment this 10%. So basically why using encapsulation is, so everything's together. So whatever the complex logics, whatever the logics we behind everything, everything doing inside that. So basically no one can modify anything inside this methods or properties. So that is what basically encapsulation is doing. If I tell about this encapsulation, normally hiding the informations. So using this encapsulation we are hiding all the informations. So users don't want to know what is happen inside these functions, right? So that's the reason we using this encapsulation. So here I'm going to increment this basic salary, right? So this one I'm using this const. This is a scope level variable. I'm declaring a scope level variable and returning this. Let me use this basic salary and adding this with 10%. I am increasing his bonus. His basic salary. Right. So now let's say I'm creating one instance lecture, new lecture. Let me take from here. Right, John Computer Science, and I'm console log new lecture dot increment salary. If I increment that salary, expert encapsulation, what is this problem 19? Okay, lecture dot increment and return the new lecture dot increment salary. Okay, what is the problem here? Okay, here I miss this function. Right. So let me run once again. You can see here I am increment 1,000 rupees to his salary. So let me assign this to a new variable. Total basic salary. Right. I'm returning this. Doing this one. So 11,000 total his salary. Right. Now let's say for example, if I am accessing this lecture dot name, right? No, not lecture. New lecture dot name. You can see John. So if you access the age, you can see age is 24. Right. So if we take this subject, we can see it's the subject as well. Now I'm going to change this name John to Smith. What happened? Now if I call this new lecture dot say hello, you can see here this object is the name is get changed. So anyone can override this object basically, right? So that's the reason encapsulation is shiny. So hiding all the informations, no one can change anything here, right? So that's the reason encapsulation is very popular, and this is one of the concept in JavaScript any programming language, not only JavaScript, any programming language. So now I'm adding, once again I'm revert back to John. No, it's okay, fine, keep as it is. Now I'm trying to access this. You can see this is a const basic salary and incrementing this basic salary plus a 10% and returning the total salary, right? So now I'm going to change this basic salary, right? So if you take this new person, new lecture dot, I want to update this basic salary, override. So you cannot be say basic salary, you cannot access these variables basically. You can see here, access this one, that is not available, right? That is not available basically. So this is how we implement. But if you are using new lecture dot increment a salary, you can see the value, but behind the implementation you don't want it. There are some complex things we can write there and the logic and everything, but user don't want to know what is happening inside that method or function, right? So this is what encapsulation is, hiding a data, only returning an output that user know. That's it. Okay, so we already done this encapsulations. Right now we are going to see these abstractions. So for that, let's create a one more snippet for that. Abstractions. So what is this abstractions mean? So abstractions means you don't have, or you can't create an instance of that particular class, right? But you can use that implementations methods. Let's say for example, you can create an instance made for create an instance and get a reference. We are using new class, a new keyword, right? So you can't use that new keyword to create an instance for that particular class if you are doing abstractions. So abstraction is basically one more thing. First thing is you can't create an instance or a reference. Second is you can extend that or inherit that abstract class and use that particular method. So let's see how to implement this abstract class, right? So this is a traditional way, and I'm using this same constructor method which we have used this person, right? So this is a person, and so for this example I'm taking this one employee, and that is coming with the person, creating I need a prototypes of this person for that employee, plus I want to create a one more constructor, that is generate ID. So here I am using function generate number, right? Generate number. I don't have anything, but here I'm checking whether if this dot constructor equal to generate name. So is this equal to this generate name instance? Then I'm throwing error saying you cannot, instance of this class cannot be initiated. Instance of this class cannot be initiated, right? So and I am creating a one more method to generate a number. I'm creating a prototype dot generate unique number IDs or generate IDs. So in this here I'm creating a function. You can see here I'm returning math.floor, so taking the largest round number, whatever the random return. with 2000, right? Now let's say I'm creating the new instance using new keyword get my new number, right? And creating an instance using generate number. Now if I call this, so basically I already told you if it is abstractions you can't call this, right? So you can't initiate. So I'm initiating this one and doing a console log. If I console log, you can see here instance of this cannot class cannot be initiated. This is not a constructor, right? So this is what basically happened in the abstractions. But let me show you how to access this one. Instead of initiating directly this particular class, what you need to do is, so I'm creating a one employee constructor, right? This employee constructor is dot name we have, and this dot age name and age, right? So here employee dot prototype dot and this prototype I'm creating object dot create I'm using this generate number prototypes, right? So now I'm creating this employee, right, instance, new employee using new keyword, this employee name Rahim, age 24, right? Now I'm console log this one, new employee. Let's see what will bring us output. Rahim. You can see if I expand this, you can see this generate IDs, right? You can see this generate ID. Other than that, I don't have anything, right? So let's call now this generate ID. Is this work now? Absolutely yes, it should work. Look at this, 519, 830. The random number is getting generated. You already saw that if I use directly this generate number class or going to create an instance using new keyword, it throws an error. So that is what basically the abstraction is. So abstraction is basically you can't create an instance, but you can do the things using inherit that particular abstract class. So that is all about these abstractions. So right now let's see how this final pillar, that is polymorphism. So how this will work? So polymorphism is basically, it's a nested form. Nested form means we can create multiple forms. That is what in the campus they teaching. But actually how it works is, so even you have a class with some methods, you can override it multiple times. So that is what polymorphism is. So let me go with the example, traditional way how to implement this polymorphism. So I will show you that as well. So let's say function, let's create a person first. So I'm taking from this example which I have did before, right? And this person prototype, right? What is my favorite? my favorite food, right? So I'm creating this one and returning for the default my favorite food is pizza, right? Let's say my favorite fast food is pizza, right? Now you creating one more classes, that is one more constructor we are creating for employee function employee, right? This employee, again you the employee have a name is dot age and I'm taking this and copy paste here. Now this employee, so basically I want first to take this prototype first, inherit this person to this employee of constructor. So that case I'm doing object dot create. I'm using this person dot prototype, taking all the prototypes, right? So now employee dot, no, first I will show you, first create this instance const new employee, right? I'm using this new keyword and employee, name is Rahim, right? Age is 24, and if I console log this one, right, person prototype favorite people, this is not a function. Why it was okay, sorry, I miss here. Let me call now, you can see, right? So if you expand and see, you can see my favorite food. Now if I call this my favorite food, new employee, that my favorite food, my favorite food is pizza, right? So this employee favorite food is pizza. Let's say student. Now I am a student, so I want to create a different class for this, right? So I'm creating that function student. Let me put this console dot bottom, and same thing, using this name and message and copying same thing here, and instead of using this employee, I'm using this student and person dot prototype, right? Oh, that's fine. So let's delete this one, and I'm using the same thing here, same employee here, employee dot prototype. I want to override this my favorite food. So for to doing this, and this my favorite food. So previously you saw fast food is pizza, right? Now I am overriding that. I'm overriding that with return my favorite food is burger, right? Now I'm creating an instance, new employee Rahim, right? Age is 24, and I'm going to call new employee dot, going to say my favorite food, right? If I click this, you can see my favorite food is burger. So basically you already saw the favorite food is added in person object constructor, right, as a prototype. but I extend this employee class with that person, right? So this reason all the person data available to this employee constructor, right? This class. So when I was called this new employee the first time, what happened is the default one which we have in the person prototype display my favorite food is pizza, right? After that I create this employee that first create a one prototype and adding a same method which we have in this person object and override that string to change this pizza instead burger, right? So if I call once again this my favorite food, what happen is this one get called. This is how the polymorphism is working. So whatever the class you are inherit from, you can override it again and again multiple times. So that is what all about this polymorphism. You can see here yes, favorite food, and the same you can see this one as well, a favorite food. This is the latest one we added. So this is all about this double OP concept in traditional way, and this is all using prototype. So next video I will show you how to implement these things with ES6 newly introduced ES6 features. So in ECMAScript 6 they introduce class keyword. So using that you can doing the same thing, but the syntax is totally different. So I will show you in the next video. Then bye.